Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third edition of the Bus Drivers Route podcast with your host, me, Brian Cohn. So after last night's explosive Real World, I had the opportunity to speak with one of the parties involved, Naya. We spoke about the fight, how she got on the show, and some of her relationships with some of the other cast members. It's a pretty interesting interview. I won't do much more of an intro, so we can get right to it just quickly. You can follow me on Twitter, @BusDriversRoute, and go to my blog, busdriversroute.com. All right, here's Naya. So the day after, how are you feeling after the big fight from last night?
The same. I've seen this so many times already, so and I actually lived it. But I'm pretty good. I thought the outpour was going to be a lot different than what it was. I thought I was going to get a lot of hate and whatnot. But I mean, personally, I feel like a majority of the world can kind of decipher from the smoke and mirrors what really happened.
Okay.
Because I was a little nervous about the editing, but other than that, I mean, no, I feel like most people really believe me and are on my side in this fight.
Okay.
Some people aren't, so it's fair.
All right. Well, we'll get into all that soon, but there's one question that I have to ask you that I think is probably the biggest crushing theme from this whole season, and that is, when you stepped in the house, how much of what you did, from the fights and manipulation, all of your comments, how much of it was you acting in the moment, and how much was you trying to make a big splash to help add to the brand of Naya and help promote your book or anything else that you're going to have happening in the future?
It was hard to explain. I mean, it's hard to say this because it's I feel like people are thinking that I'm lying when I say this show is 100% real. And the people on there, maybe not so much. I was myself when I walked in the house. I was walking into a house with people who had already established their home. So at no point was I trying to overthrow anybody or take the scene or steal the show. I just did that naturally. I, got into some bullshit and, I guess my personality or how I dealt with it kind of stole the show, but at no point was I trying to stir up or create drama. I'm a great finisher. I usually don't start shit, but I damn sure will finish anything.
So even the whole video of you saying, I'm Hurricane Naya, everywhere I go, I'm Hurricane Naya, that was all to get on the show?
I actually never said that. No, I've never called myself Hurricane Naya ever. MTV gave me that nickname.
I thought that was in your video that they kind of leaked a little bit.
No, that was in a promo, but that was not an audition tape. That was just a soundbite of me saying, my whole life I've been Hurricane Naya. They basically, I love that they did it because, everyone in my house, my family was like, who the hell is Hurricane Naya? I was like, I don't know how they came up with that, but I'm glad they did because I was the only one with, a nickname on the show. But I don't know. I swear to you, I never came up with it, called myself that. I think in one of my interview questions in the house, one of the producers probably said, well, we consider you like Hurricane Naya. Now tell us that you've been Hurricane Naya your whole life. So I probably kind of just got, manipulated into saying that. But, I used to think that the nickname was lame, but now I love it.
All right, fair enough. So, all right, so now we'll get to the fight now. So I'm actually with you on cleaning up the crap. That you clean up your part, that's fine. You want to clean up theirs, they should probably do that. I'm with you there. But the problem is the fight doesn't happen until the next day. And that is when you kept antagonizing the situation, pushing it until it finally broke. So why did you keep pushing it instead of just, being like, all right, I don't like these people, they don't like me, there's only a week left, let's just go our separate ways and we'll go from there? Why did you keep pushing it?
Because it was me being really immature. I thought it was funny that Johnny and Averey thought they were going to tell me what sounds I can make with my mouth, what I can say to the dog, if I can touch the dog, whatever. I just thought it was very stupid as it was. So it was just a continuation of a stupid fight and a stupid argument. To me, it was just, once I analyzed the situation, I realized how fake they were because, like Marlon and Anastasia said, they just really don't like you. And I'm like, well, that's new to me because since our last apology and makeup, I hadn't had a single problem with them, and that was a month before. So for them to completely just be like, fuck you, and Johnny wishing me dead and all this shit over some dog doo-doo that I shouldn't have cleaned up, to me just spoke volumes about who they really were. So at that point, I was like, I don't give a fuck about you, and I am going to annoy the hell out of you and make your life a living hell the same way I did Jordan, because I felt like it was justified. So it was like all is fair in love and war. I didn't turn on the lights in the house. The producers do all that. Yes, I did make noises at the dog. Yes, I did step on a little squeak toy. I did that shit. But at what point did not, if somebody in a napkin, throw a drink in somebody's face, grab somebody from behind? I never did any of that shit. They initiated the physical shit. I just finished it.
So after Johnny did the tissue and then the drink, now you always say, even Peter, you say like you're a great wordsmith or whatever, you know how to finish stuff. So why at that point did you then flip the switch and start punching him and then going after blow dryers? Why not just stick to the game plan of
No, because it's a different game. It's a different game. First of all, I was already sick and tired of these rednecks grabbing spitty Cheerios, putting your hands around my neck, biting me because you can't verbally defend yourself. At some point, somebody had to learn, and Johnny was that person. He should have never even been in this bathroom because I was talking to his girlfriend. And like she always does, she ran and told Johnny, who had just got laid, was intoxicated by the pussy still, so he decided he wanted to come in and fight her battle for her yet again. And throwing a drink on somebody, whether you want to believe it or not, it is a form of assault. It's not deadly, but it's still a form of assault. You throwing a drink in a woman's face, you're going to get fucked up. So there was no talking at that point because it's like, I didn't touch you. I didn't put anything on you. I'm using my words here. Now you want to get physical. Well, if you're going to get physical, I guess that's the type of ball game you want to play. And let's play ball. So I thought, it was justified. Like, he could hit me because he was a man, but he was still bitch enough to throw a drink in my face and then put blow his nose and spit in a napkin and put it on me. He had to get fucked up. He will remember that for the rest of his life. I can promise you that Johnny will never pour a drink on anybody's head again.
But like there's no way he's ever going to do anything to you. You know that. So why, after, all right, so he throws a drink on you. Why don't you push him off him if he's still a problem? Why not go straight to Averey and start fighting her instead of going after Johnny?
This is the thing. In the real world,
he's not going to go after you.
That's fine. No, of course. No, actually, no. At the time, I didn't know. I'm never going to underestimate a fool because Jordan wasn't man enough to not put his hands on me and choke me and bite me and do all that shit. So I'm not going to underestimate a fool. So when I hit him, and hit him multiple times or 10, 20, however many times I felt like hitting him, that was what I felt was due. Because you can't, this is the thing, in the real world, you can't decide how a fight is finished if you start it. Now, let's just say he threw that drink in my face and I went to the next room and told my brother to come over and he got his neck broke on national television. Then what? Am I wrong for going and telling my brother to make this boy fight a man because he's supposed to be fighting a man, not a girl? So either way, people are going to feel a certain way about it. I had the right to do what I did. I've never felt anything less than that. In the real world, that's what happens. I didn't have a boyfriend or a brother to come in and diffuse that situation. So it was just instant punishment. I don't really see, I looked at this from a billion different ways because I am a person who will hold herself accountable, and say, hey, I was wrong out here. I could have done this differently. Like, I've always said, yeah, I probably shouldn't have grabbed a hairdryer. But at that point, I was code red because, for one, I am not a fighter. I've been in one fight my entire life, and that was my last time. I was 16 years old when I had to defend myself. So for me, it was just like, I don't play this game with you. You're not good at your words, and now you want to get physical? No, motherfucker. I don't do that. So if I am, you're going to turn me on code red, I really don't know how to turn that shit off. Like, I was fuming. Like, I was so fucking livid because to me it was just the ultimate disrespect, for a guy to do something like that. So I did what I did, and that's when round 2 came with me and Averey.
So at any point during your fight with Averey, did the producers, it didn't seem like, did they ever jump in and separate you two? Like,
no.
I would think right after you hit Johnny, they would come in. Like, why did they just, I think one reason why, but.
The house rules is they don't interfere with anything. Like, when me and Jordan got in that fight, with the lamp and all that shit, right before the lamp, I went to the producers and I said, I really want to fuck this kid up. He keeps spitting in my face, da-da-da-da-da. It's not just Cheerios. He spit at me, he choked me, they cut that whole part out, all that shit. And they said, it's your house, you have to deal with it yourself. So basically I think that was them saying, well, we kind of left her hanging on the last one. We got to let her do what she wants. Like, if she wants to fuck him up, we can't block her because we didn't block Jordan from doing what he did to her too. So that's how I feel. I feel like they were just like, yeah, we're really going to stand up this one because we didn't help her in the last situation. So we're not going to fucking, break it up.
So then after you started Johnny with the blow dry, then Avery jumps in, and then you get separated. So why did you then go back at Avery again from behind? Why not do it, I don't know, head on, or just why even not just get out of the house and walk away?
I tried several times. As soon as I grabbed the hairdryer, I walked up to Avery, and I said it could be a 2-for-1 combo if it needs to be. I walked back over to her, and I was like, I just fucked your boyfriend up in the bathroom, and I really want to fuck your ass up again. I mean, fuck you up now. She said nothing. She just stared at the. I kept asking her because I knew what she was gonna do. I said, this bitch is gonna wait till I turn around and try to pull a fast one on me, and that's fine because at the end of the day, I still need her to hit me first, just in case they say, hey, you need to go, and I'm like, nah, I didn't throw the first punch on her. Me and Johnny.
Wouldn't that be her mindset too then, knowing that if she threw the first punch, she would get thrown out? So
no. Avery was terrified of me. Avery, I can always tell when someone is doing something out of fear. She was fighting me out of fear. She had no other choice. She's seen her boyfriend in the battle, and he got fucked up. So she's like, I have nothing. What else was she supposed to do? Just stand there and watch it begin when this was supposed to be her battle to begin with? So I understand, a girlfriend saying, like, what else am I supposed to do in this situation? But I asked her multiple times, I really want to beat your ass. She didn't say anything to me. She waited for me to turn around, and that's when she hit me. And, of course, all 3 punches she missed. And I just think it's funny. I think it's hilarious the way the whole shit. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the tape, but, honey, I can send it to you. Slow it down. Rewind it. She missed all 3 of those first swings while Jordan is holding me.
I mean, first of all, I think you were both being held back, and I've seen clips. I may or not have watched it about 10 times last night because I'm crazy like that. But it seemed like there were punches hit on both ends, and you did look red coming out of it. Like your face did look red from where you were
she scratched me. No, she didn't. This is Avery didn't punch me in my nose and like leave it gushing. She scratched me across like the top of like right where you have like a mustache. She scratched me right under my nose, and she pulled my clip-ins out. That is all she did. She connected on maybe 2 of those hits out of 10 swings. 2. That's it. Like I remember the hits. I remember she hit me in my forehead, and she hit me on the side of my cheek, like where my ear is. That's the only 2 times she actually connected. The other ones were misses and hair pulls. That's it. And else was me. People wanted me to get taken down. I get it, and it didn't happen. It is what it is. Now me walking behind her in the bathroom. That is exactly how the fight started. You jump me from behind, I'm jumping your ass from behind, and it's beautiful, I think, because it's like how Jordan was trying to hold me when she got her leg. Here's Johnny trying to pull her away, and I have her completely in my grip, and I'm just knocking her fucking block off. It is, in my opinion, extreme, or it's instant karma. It's exactly how the fight started, and that's exactly how it ended. But unlike her, my head hits actually connected.
To be fair, the fight started when you hit Johnny, not when she hit you.
It is, but it's 2 separate things. I didn't touch you, so you don't touch me. I can understand, the defense with, hey, she fucked my boyfriend up, but she knew I had just beat his ass in the bathroom. She stood there knowing. She waited for me to turn around. That's a person who was fighting out of fear. She never wanted to fight me one-on-one, just like when I threw that drink in her mouth, and Johnny's like, she's like, do you want to go? She looked at Johnny, and Johnny he gives her that look like, do not fight her. Johnny already, and I mean, you can even, when you see the reunion, Johnny's like, he knows I'm a one-on-one fight, just like Jordan barricading her. Me versus a 6 foot tall, 160-pound girl versus a 5'6". I don't even know how much she weighs. She would have got tossed like a rag doll all around that house, and she knows that. That's why she told Johnny, oh, I respect you too much to fight her, but you don't respect him enough to send him in a battle and fight your battle and get his ass whooped. It's all an act. I mean, I get it because there's cameras there, but at the end of the day, I asked her, I challenged her multiple times, do you want this or not? She didn't say shit to me. She waited for me to turn around, and she pulled my clip-in down and she scratched me. So I gave her 2 options. I said, look, honey, either you're going to move out of my house or I'm going to hit you every time I see you. That's how you started this fight. I'm going to end it. Pick what you want to do. You have an option. They didn't believe me, so me walking up behind her in the bathroom, she saw me coming from the side. I called the cameraman to follow me in the bathroom. I wasn't even going to try and hit her from the back. That's just how I found her. I called the cameraman and told the guy to follow me in the bathroom. She heard all of this. She just didn't think that I was going to do anything. She thought I was going to come in there and talk shit. I don't know. I don't know what she was thinking, but I would never underestimate my opponent and have my back turned, especially when she sees me coming in the mirror, and that's just the consequence of her sleeping on me.
So, I mean, you keep saying, like, you were challenging Avery, come get me, and then she didn't throw a punch or whatever, so you went after Johnny. But you knew going after Johnny was basically you going after Avery because she was going to jump in. So I still don't get, if you really wanted to take on Avery, why not? I
wanted to fight her one-on-one. I said, but I didn't care. I'm like, either she's going to sucker punch me, and then I'm going to mop her ass, or she's going to fight me one-on-one. Either way, it did not matter. I was going to hit somebody. So for me, it was like, look, you want to fuck up Avery, but I know she's not about it. So the only way she's really going to do anything is if I swing her boyfriend, and that was what I was going to do anyway before I even see her ass standing in that hallway. So
I think she would have swung back if you swung at her first. I don't think she would have ran like.
That's the thing, but why would I? That's the thing. I'm never going to swing on anyone first in my life. That's one thing my father always told me. He said, don't you ever hit nobody first. Now, when they hit you, you knock their ass out. So that's a rule that I lived by my entire life. Unfortunately for me, I have never fist fought my mom. I've never had to fist fight girls like Averey and lived that, painfully unfortunate life that she's lived. I've always had, people that respect me and love me, and I have friends who, that don't like me, they just, we stay away from each other. But unfortunately, Averey in this situation, she had no other choice. What was she going to do? Watch her boyfriend get hit in the face with a fucking blood dryer? I get it. Trust me. I would have too, but I would have jumped on the bitch right after she told me, I just mopped your boyfriend in the bathroom. And she heard the licks. Jordan just told her, Marlon she already knew what had just happened. So there would have been no standing there thinking about it, waiting there in silence. You would have just got that ass handed to you right then and there if that was me and my man. Not wait for her to turn around. But, I mean, at the end of the day, she was fighting at a disadvantage, so I get what she was trying to do, but it's just like, it's still punk ass to me, because it's like, then that's why you missed, because you're fighting out of fear. As big as my head is, you mean to tell me you can hit me once?
I mean, I still think she connected, but I wasn't there, so I guess I only go off the tape, so I guess I can't say for sure, but it seemed like she connected on a few, but
no, I said she connected on 2 out of 10, but all of those first 3 that you think she hit me, she never hit me. So if you want to see the tape, I'll absolutely send it to you. Okay. It is slowed down, and unfortunately, that's not the way it happened. And, yeah, like I said, I never lost a battle when I was in the Portland house. I won every single time, and I win this one. I got exactly what I wanted, and that's that. Okay, maybe they'll do maybe we'll duke it out on the rivals if she ever agrees to.
All right. Well, I was going to ask you that later. So I'll ask you now. Were you asked to be on Rivals? Because it makes no sense why Jessica and Anna would be the 2 representatives in this season. And it wouldn't be
yeah. I mean, they asked me, and I mean they asked everybody really, but I guess Averey didn't want to do it, or she couldn't do it, so there was no other rival for me. So it kind of just canceled me out of there. So like, oh well, it is Rival. That's the theme of it. So I had no other rival. I couldn't go. I mean, they're not gonna put me on the team with Jordan. It was girls and guys,
Yeah.
So
okay.
But I mean, obviously, there's more challenges in that.
Hopefully, if the ratings haven't been that good, so they might cancel. But hopefully, there'll be more. We'll see. So, but just back to this season. So this was filmed back in like August now. So that's basically 10 months ago. So. Even though it's being rehashed now, like on national TV, and it's being brought up again, it seems like you have still such vitriol for Averey, especially on Twitter. You're bashing her all the time. I see it. And, I mean, I follow her too. She never says anything to you. So why is there still such that level of hatred, even after all this time, that you can't just be like, all right, she doesn't like me, I'm going to move on with my life?
I think that's completely untrue, because Averey engages in the same shit that I engage in. I didn't actually start with her until she was saying shit to me, and then, of course, she was saying it indirectly, and then someone added me in it. So, of course, I'm going to get into this war of words. That's my specialty. Not to mention, this is live tweeting. This is creating, what's it called? I guess, like, getting people to watch and whatnot. So you have the opportunity to tell your side of the story and whatever. Everybody's doing it. Every single person on this cast is doing it. So
not everyone's
Averey is not.
Shots, though. Like, everyone's talking about the show. It seems like you're taking it a lot more personal and going after her actual life and not just discussing things on the show, which, I don't
like
see
what?
her just going after her past, going after stuff that's, like, not on the show. Like
going after her what?
Stuff. Like, going after what she went through in her past or what she's going through now, or just other stuff that doesn't seem like she's doing the same field. That's what I don't understand. Tell me I'm wrong.
I feel like I don't. Everything I've said, I mean, it's all fair and love and war, and at the end of the day, I'm the star of the show. People want to hear what the fuck I have to say, not her. I feel like she is not a good verbal defender, so she really might not have much to say. That's not shocking. But at the end of the day, we're all talking shit. We're all telling our side of the story. We're all got fans. We all got haters. That's just a part of the game. I know how to play it. So if she chooses not to, that's on her.
All right. Okay, fair enough. I guess we'll agree to disagree on some of this stuff, but no, I don't want to spend two hours talking about this fight like the reunion last week. So let me just move on to a few other things. So I wanted to know the process of how you joined the show. Did you know you alternate that if someone got a W, you would be the one to get the call, and like how much of contact was the producers with you before you got the call? I was just curious about the whole process of you joining.
Yes, I was told that I wasn't on the original cast. I mean, on the original 7th. And personally, I mean, whether you want to believe it or not, I always knew I was going on the show. I never cared because I was like, you know what, they're going to call me. Like, this show sucks. is on this last season. There's no way in hell they're not going to bring Nia in one way or another. It was humbling to not make the original because I made 5 audition tapes, and I really wanted to do it. It was always on my bucket list. So I was like, okay, wow, I didn't make it. But I always knew. At no point did I ever feel like, or like I just always, it was like God or something just tapped me on my shoulder like, you're going, but it's going to be at the right time. And I couldn't ask for a better entrance to come in on my own and to steal the show. Like, duh. Why? I mean, I'm happy with the way that went down. So, I mean, they called me. I came in 2 weeks. I mean, Joy left after 2 weeks anyway, so I didn't really miss much.
Okay. And now your relationship with Jessica, it seemed like you were the only one throughout the whole season to not really get into a fight with her. You're the only one that seemed like you were tolerating her. So what was it that kind of made her so just separated from everyone else that made everyone hate her so much?
I mean, Jessica just talks too damn much. She talks about a bunch of nothingness, but it's all it's harmless. Like, she doesn't mean to. She just really wants to, like, relate to people. And Anastasia and Averey are just insecure bitches. Like, they don't like her, apparently. They can't stand her, but they cannot keep her name out of their mouth. They talk about her at dinner when she's not there. They talk about her at motocross. They talk about her at sushi. They talk about her in the bedroom. They talk about her all the time, but they won't tell her to her face. She asked them straight up, hey, is there a reason why you guys are, like, alienating me and, you know, playing mean girls and whatever? They're like, no, I just want to spend time with Bird. That's not the truth, though, because when the camera's on you in the next scene, you're talking about the fact that she has more money than you and her mother loves her, unlike yours. Like, I just feel
I mean, you would know that editing obviously has a lot to do with that.
No, honey. I live in that house, and I watch these bitches talk about that girl day in and day out. And Johnny, too. Johnny Jordan, it's like, you guys hate her, but all you do is talk about her. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, if I don't like somebody, it's fuck you, bitch, keep it moving. I wasn't sitting around talking about Johnny and Averey and sitting around talking about Jordan. They didn't even exist. Like, once I cut them off, they were so dead. Like, you would have thought they were just wandering souls. So for me, it's just like, if you really don't like somebody, you get away from them, and you're still talking about them. Like, they were obsessed with her. They were hating on her. Obviously, Jessica was dating the hottest guy, you know, out of the 3 of them. Anastasia's relationship with that unstable drug addict, and then, you know, Averey's dating Thum Thum. So I feel like there was a lot of animosity towards her because Averey did like Tyler. It is what it is.
So, I mean, it just seemed a little hypocritical. So you said if you don't like someone that you would stay away from them and don't bother them, but obviously you don't like Averey and John in the house, and now you don't really stay away from them and don't really mention them at all. So
okay, but honey, there's a difference between, listen, this is social media, this is promoting the show, this is telling it like it is in the moment, because most people believe that this is in the moment, and most people don't know how to decide. They're watching television, watching it as right now. This is what I was advised to do by MTV. So do I sit in my regular life when I'm at, you know, out to dinner with my friends and with my, you know, guy or whatever, talking about these peons? No, I don't. But right now on Twitter, that is a part of the game. That is the marketing hustle. That's how you do it. That's how you get it done. If you can't, you know, stand the heat, then get the fuck out of the kitchen and log off Twitter. That's just how I feel about it. In that house, I never sat there and talked about these kids when I cut them off. Mm-hmm. That's all that matters is what's on the tape, not, you know, somebody's personal feelings about what I'm doing right now. I know what I'm doing, and I'm obviously playing the game very well. At the end of the day, there's only one person MTV is playing ball with, and that is me.
All right. So one of the people that you were closest with in the beginning was Marlon. Did you guys stay close throughout the whole season? Because, I mean, really I haven't seen much interaction between you two other than with breaking up some fights and stuff. Were you guys close throughout the whole entire season?
Yes. Me and Marlon were always close from the very beginning to the end. I mean, obviously there were some times where he didn't agree with me, but I respect that. Like, at least he was honest. He wasn't trying to just ride on my side just because he's black. Like, oh, yeah, we got to stick together. Like, no, there were times where he was like, I don't feel like you should have done this, and da-da-da-da. And that's cool. I love that about him. And, I mean, I talked to him today. Me and him FaceTime, like, probably 2 hours ago. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, that relationship will always be forever. Same thing with Joy. She's one of my best friends now.
It's amazing that you're actually friends, because considering you're the two who weren't on the show. So how did you guys met, I guess, that, like, promos for the show or outside the show, I guess?
Yeah, we met at promos, and we clicked. I mean, we talked for like 5 minutes, and we were inseparable.
Wow. So on one of this past episode, the big fights that were the talk of the season were you with Jordan. So what was it that, obviously, I mean, you guys are both very hard-headed, stubborn people who always like to be right, so obviously that played a big part. But was there any underlying feelings you had kind of led to all the big fights that you had, especially in the early going?
Wait, I'm sorry. What's the question?
you and Jordan, do you have any underlying feelings of attraction or anything that led to some of the flirtatious fighting that you guys had in the beginning?
No, I just think that was a storyline that MTV kind of drummed up because, like I said, like I like furlongs, and obviously Jordan didn't have one. So where would the attraction be?
So why did you go after him specifically in the beginning to try to take him down just because of what everyone else said?
We've already explained. I thought we already said that. Like I walked to a house full of people who hated this guy and said he was an asshole, and they put all this pressure on me because he's this, he's that, and da da da. So I was like, okay, well, let me help these people so that we can all have a good time. Everyone can show up at the events and the dinners and not be afraid of this guy who you shouldn't be afraid of. And that was that. Not to mention, I didn't pull the trigger on him until he started disrespecting me and calling me a whore and all this other stuff he came up with based on the fact that, of the guys that I had dated and whatnot. So that was that.
All right, so season winding down, that last episode next week, do you regret anything that you did, said, or anything that's been shown or even that has been shown? Do you regret anything that happened on the season?
The only thing I've ever regretted was making fun of Jordan's hand because, I mean, whether you want to believe it or not, I don't really care. I did not actually mean to say it for it to come out like that. And I knew, as you can see in the tape where I was talking about his hand in front of the computer, I tried to cover it up. I tried to, fix it because I realized instantly I cannot believe I just said that, but I didn't mean to say it like that. And I'll take ownership for it. I apologize. I do not think that, that's a laughing matter for one. I've never considered Jordan disabled. I consider him disfigured. He's more athletic than every single person in that house. He's more able-bodied than every single person in the house. At the end of the day, he taught me how to shoot pool with my right hand because I was telling him I couldn't. And he's like, dude, if I can do it with this hand and that hand, you can do it. And that was one of the first conversations first bonding experiences that I ever had with Jordan walking into that house. So that was one of the things I would say the only thing I really regret. And maybe also, just thinking about it, feeling obliged to fight these bitches' battles. I felt like, I was always in situations because I was fighting other people's battles for them, like Jessica and whatnot. But other than that, maybe that's just how I am. I'm a protector. I'm a mama bear. I can't, I was in the house with a bunch of sensitive crybaby girls. So I felt like I had to do something because I was the only girl left and I was the only one with a pair of balls. So, but I would say those two things.
Okay. So what's the progress of the book? How's that coming along?
It's coming along really well. I'm working on this kind of like a vlog to go along with the book because I wanted to explain all the misconceptions and whatnot. Hopefully it'll be on shelves by this year if I get my shit together. I mean, my hands are in so many different places, especially with the booty belt coming out. I'm hoping I can stay on track and get everything done because I have a lot on my plate.
Okay.
But,
all right. Sounds good. So before you go, why don't you let people know where they can find you on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff?
Yes. My Instagram and my Twitter are the same. It's The Real Nia Moore, NIAMOORE, and my website is niamoore.com.
Okay. All right. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for talking to me.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Bye. There it is. The third edition of the Bus Drivers Route podcast is in the books. Thank you all for listening. I should have another couple of these coming out shortly next week, so be on the lookout for that. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter @BusDriversRoute and go to busdriversroute.com. All right, that'll do it for me. Until next time, have a good one.